It's time for the NFL to make a big change. We had the Tua issue last night, and about a year ago, remember the Davante Adams questionable concussion issue. This is Dr. David Chao, Pro Football Doc at Sports Injury Central, SICScore.com. It's time for the NFL to adapt and change. I'm not being critical of any of the doctors, but they need to be more transparent. The NFL needs to provide the transparency. About a year ago, Davante Adams for the Green Bay Packers was hit by Jimmy Ward versus San Francisco, was on the ground for 2 minutes, went into the medical tent in real time for a total of 1 minute 30 seconds, and returned to play after missing just one play. It was determined and reported that he got the wind knocked out of him instead of a concussion, even though the TV referee agreed with a helmet-to-helmet hit, and the announcers were saying he was concussed. Now, just this past Sunday, Tua stumbled after a hit where his head hit the ground. And even I thought there was a visual sign of concussion. But he was returned after clearing the concussion protocol with a back spasm issue. Indeed, he hurt his back earlier in the first quarter. But more explanations need to be had. My suggestion is, and I've been saying this for a while, and it's past due time, if a pool reporter is allowed to talk to the head referee after the game to get key refereeing decisions explained, why can't a pool reporter speak to the red hat or someone who knows what happened medically? The public wants transparency. We all want transparency to know players are safe. I believe for the most part the NFL is trying to do that. So why not show the world? It's not good enough to have major reporters leak the information that it was Tua's back. Isn't it better to hear it from the horse's mouth? Look, you can explain all you want about a refereeing decision. Isn't it better to hear from the head referee what they were thinking? Sometimes it answers some questions. Sometimes it clarifies things. Sometimes it doesn't, but at least it provides transparency. Now, I'm not asking doctors or red hats to get in front of a press conference in a pressure situation. Do it like the referees with the pool reporter. If the red hat independent neuro can't do that or doesn't want to do that, perhaps the comments can be filtered through Dr. Alan Sills, who does a great job as the NFL chief medical officer. Perhaps it's 3 or 5 questions submitted in writing and answered immediately post-game by Dr. Sills in conjunction with the red hat. Some transparency would only help the league and help fans enjoy the sport. If you would have done that last year with Davante Adams, it would have provided more clarification related to the wind knocked out of him story. Look, if there's no good clarification, then people should own up and answer to it. If you would have done that on Sunday with Tua, it would have answered a lot of questions rather than begging for more questions today after what happened Thursday. I'm not saying there was any concussion malfeasance. We've talked about that before, but clarification and transparency would be a good thing for the NFL and its fans and help everyone understand the process. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's time for that to happen. I think it can happen and should happen. And it would help us to enjoy the game of football more rather than worrying about the process. Transparency and being above board, especially when you don't have anything to hide, is a good thing. And I think this is a needed next step for the NFL. Thanks for watching. More details and follow up at SICScore.com.